Here we go. Okay. All right. So today we'll talk about a few things, and we're going to get rolling into this big boy because I feel like we're missing something. There's something a little missing. Either basically we're shortcutting a few things or forgetting to put a few things back into the equation. But remember, sometimes we might be doing everything right, but we might have verbal vomit, which means that we're doing too much talking and not enough basically listening and question asking. Remember, a question is more powerful than any statement you're going to give. So pulling them in and getting them involved and taking ownership of it is a large part of why or why not you will or will not be successful in that appointment. So we want to make sure we're doing those little things which add to big things. Not to mention your inspection on the inside and the outside of the house 100% of the time, and then getting them to commit that that they're already paying for their windows. Remember, catching early, this form will work, and it'll work like a charm if we basically pay attention to what we're supposed to be doing. During the inspection process or early in the process, when we look at the house, we need to make sure we're getting out. Let me ask you, on a house like this, what do you pay for utilities? What, an average of $800 to $1,200 if it's a smaller house. If it's a big house, you can use $1,500 to $2,000, sometimes even up to $5,000 if it's a big enough house through there. So we want to make sure we're trying to get the real number, because if we guess high, they're always going to shoot with the real number because they feel proud that it's smaller than the number that you threw out. So it's just a little quick trickery way to make sure we're getting doing the little things that add up to big things. Because again, the more we get ahead of stuff, the better it is. Secondly, when we walk through the door, we knock on the door, we step through the threshold. We have to make sure, we got to make sure basically that we get that commitment that this is a place they plan on staying. Or if it's going to be 5 years or 10 years or whatever, you're going to get more of a truthful statement the second you walk in the door than you are when you start sitting at the table or going around the inspection or waiting till later in the inspection. We want to get that. That's why we call it the threshold question. Beautiful house. How long have you owned it for? You've owned it for 8 years. Wow. What made you pick this house, this neighborhood? Because of blah, 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 blah. Well, great. So it sounds like to me, you guys aren't planning on going anywhere a long time, right? Place you guys plan on staying? Yes. Or toe tag house, or take a stick of dynamite to get you out of here. That's a big deal, because again, that sets us up for later. Even if you're in a position where you don't do a return on investment, which is a great part to get the return on investment, to get you started at least. Then secondly, you're not going to get hit at the end of it with they're moving, or, they don't know if they're going to be in the house that long. It removes that objection immediately and allows that to go away. Remember, the whole deal why I'm such an asshole about the process is making sure that we're not making our job harder at the end of it. Because the worst thing we can do is spend an hour and a half to 3 hours of our time to create indecision because we missed something in the presentation. If they lie to us, that gives us reason with the commitments we got to go back and slap them with the truth with the lie that they gave us. So again, we have to be on point and not miss the obvious. You miss the obvious, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I don't use the sheet for price impressioning. I don't basically, give good enough recommendations. I'm not looking at alterations basically to make the project less expensive or a better or different design than what they have inside the house, right? What did I bring different than anyone else is going to bring into that house, right? Why am I the difference? Why do they need to trust me over anyone else in the industry? What's going to cause them not to want to get a second or third estimate, so I don't have to bring up that basically close at the end saying, John and Mary, everybody, when they're going to make a decision like this, looks for the best quality product with the best service and guarantees for the cheapest price. I've been in this industry a long time, John and Mary, and I can share with you, there's nobody out there that does that. So come on, level with me. For your long-term happiness, which one of the three you giving up? Is it quality of the product? No, you said you needed this, and this, right? So that's not it. Is it service and guarantees? Nope, you're not willing to sacrifice that either. So come on, it's got to be cheap price. So obviously everything's more expensive than what you thought it's going to be. You've been thinking about this for 4 years or 5 years or 8 years. So obviously if you'd gotten back to it then, it wouldn't be as costly as it is now. So come on, level with me. How much too much is the $373 a month? If they tell you they're not paying payments, still push the payment, right? They tell you they don't pay payments, it's probably because they've got bad credit. You need to figure out a different alternative way, or let them know that, John and Mary, hey, it's okay. We deal with people just like yourself all the time, right? I myself might be in that position too. So when you look at it, you know, our banks give us extreme buying power. Therefore, if we can't get you approved, there's a good chance nobody can. So we'll buy all the way down to the 500s at some point. So basically making sure that at least you give the shot to get the windows you want and deserve. And don't you feel like it's worth your time? So again, let the banks tell you no. Don't let them tell you no, because you bought an excuse. Okay. So again, we got to get good at that stuff. The other part, this is set up a couple different ways. Okay. This form starts out with maintenance savings. If they have wood windows, or have ever done any maintenance where they've replaced their windows, replaced glass packs, had to paint, refix the stucco around the windows, fix basically wood on the inside, fix drywall on the inside because of it, then that's where this part would come in good. If you walk into somebody that never maintenance their windows and has never spent $1, it's okay to put a 0 there, but you're going to need to remind them that basically there's going to have to be something if they did nothing at all. They're going to at least have to replace some broken glass with the seal failures, which is going to cost several $100s to take care of that. They're going to have to basically caulk around the windows. They're going to have to basically probably fix some stucco. They're going to have to fix some drywall damage on the inside of the house. There's something they've got to do to keep what they currently have. It's never free. So you got to find that out early. And if it's painting their windows or restaining their windows if they're wood, ask them what the cost was the last time they did it and how many years ago that was, and write that down. And then ask them how many times, just says, like it says today, it says today, maintenance today, which is how much they've currently already paid, maintenance in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and 15 years from now. Even if you don't use all three categories there, you still find out, obviously, staining isn't getting any cheaper, right? Labor is getting more expensive. So if you paid, $5,000 to basically restain your windows, how long did it take them to do that? And how much basically time were you there, and what kind of smells were you smelling inside the house? And how much do you look forward to paying to do that again, right? So again, if we did this thing in the next upcoming couple of years, how much more do you think it would cost than it cost you basically 4 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago? Experts recommend that you restain your windows every 2 years. So if you're restaining your windows every 2 to 5 years, think about what the cost is and how much the expense has gone up. Hell, think about a gallon of gas 10 years ago. Think about basically a gallon of milk. Think about a loaf of bread. Think about the little things into it that have gone up with inflation so much. What's going to happen to these costs over the next couple of years, right? So this is your chance to label it out so you know how much their maintenance cost is costing them, okay? So don't put 0 if they actually maintain their windows. If they got old aluminum windows and they haven't done anything, you need to at least get in their head that if they didn't do anything at all and kept the windows they have, they would have to maintenance them. And if you don't get them convinced that they've got to spend some money on maintenance, you're not fully taking advantage of the situation. Now, I'm not telling you to beat a dead horse, but I'm telling you to make sure if you can find something that's going to make a difference, you have to find what's going to make the difference in there. Again, staining, painting, basically finish work, caulking, sealing, all those different things that you're supposed to do as a homeowner, which is called homeowner maintenance, is a big deal. Next, let's go on to utility savings, right? Utility savings, this is probably the most important part. I don't care if they pay $150 a month. I don't care if they pay $75 a month, which we know is bullshit in San Diego. I live in a little 1,700 square foot, basically, condo, and I pay basically right around $300 a month for my condo. So you're telling me you could take somebody's house that's 2,000 square foot, 2,500 square foot, basically 3,000, 4,000, 7,000 square foot homes, and you're telling me they pay less money than I pay a month? You're crazy. It's not going to happen unless they don't have central heating and cooling. Then that's all the reason they need heating. They need windows more anyways. So again, you need to find out what their utility bills are. Remember, you sit down at the table, you ask them, so what do you guys pay for utilities? Oh, probably $100. You're never going to get the true answer. When you're at the windows and you're basically doing your inspection, rip the question out where they don't have time to think about it, mix it in between other questions. So let me ask you, on a house like this, what do you pay for utilities? If it's a, basically 2,000 square foot house, well, basically, what, 800 to 1,200 bucks a month? If you get up through there, then basically, what is it, 2 to 3 grand a month you pay for a house like this? Get into there and guess high where you know they probably don't pay that much. So that way, then they'll come up and share with you real close to the real number, if not what the real number is. Because if I don't get that real number, then this form is bullshit because it's based off fake numbers. But again, you can get the real number if you ask the question in the right demeanor. So if I take utility savings, and let's just say they pay $400 a month, okay? Just on average. So I got my $400 a month there. Now, obviously, which is a slide in the keynote where it talks about SDG&E says they're going to have a 28% gas hike proposed over the next 4 years, right? 28%. If I take mathematics into play, and that's just on 4 years, not even 15, so that's going to be right around 518 bucks, I believe. But let me just double check my math. So that way I'm not telling you the wrong number. That's going to add another $112 to their utility bill. So if we're doing nothing, if you look at it, and they were going to live in their house another 180 months, that's going to cost them an extra $20,000. $20,160 to basically heat and cool their house just with that 28% increase over the next 180 months, right? That's just the increase. That's not what they're currently paying too, right? So if I took it at just that, nothing else, that's going to be effective. But I want to ask them real quick, because if they're going to live in their house another 10 years or 15 years, if SDG&E is in your pocket for a 28% gas hike now, how much more do you think over the next 10 or 15 years they're going to raise the gas prices? And you get them to commit with a number. And if you're at 400, a lot of them say, God, it'll probably double, right? So if you can get them to say that, great. Let's just say that I'd probably go up to probably at least 600 bucks, right? So if I take 600 and say in the next 15 years, they're going to be paying $600 a month where they're paying $400 a month now. Now all I got to do is do some easy math. If I want to take the average, all I do is I take 600 plus 400, right? That's $1,000. If I divide that by 2, then that tells me that average monthly utility bill is going to be about $500 a month. Because 1,000 divided by 2 is 500, right? So if I'm taking on average $1,000, which SDG&E tells me already it's going to be more expensive than that, because they're telling me that's going to be $512. So if we just go with what SDG&E tells me is basically a $112 increase over the base of the next 4 years, and I take that as my new average, that's a lot of money. So now currently, if I take basically, if I got out of their mouth earlier, there's going to take a stick of dynamite to get them out of the house, or this is a toe tag house, or a forever home, then I can take my $512 and I can times that by 180 months. It means they're paying $92,000. I'll repeat that, $92,160 to heat their house and cool their house over the next 180 months. That is a lot of freaking money. John and Mary, how does that make you feel knowing if you did nothing at all with SDG&E in there, it's going to be $92,160 to heat and cool your house. And that's because they're raising it over $20,000 for you doing nothing at all, just keeping what you currently have. Now, let me ask you, can you see how you're already paying for your windows before you even got started? That's a big deal. Can you see how you're already paying for your windows before you even got started? And that's a big deal. So now, when we go through the glass pack presentation, this is going to be big, right? So when I take them through the glass pack presentation, John and Mary, On average, our customer tells you they save between 25 and 40% off their utilities. Let me ask you a question based on what we shared with you today with the window, all the problems we took care of, not to mention the glass pack presentation. How much do you feel like you would save off of utilities? And most of them are going to range right around 30%. Okay? They're going to range right around that 30% number. So if I take 30%, because if I take 25 and 40, they're going to want to guess conservative. So if they guess 35 and I guess or guess 30, cool. Even if they guess 25, you still come up a winner. Okay? So if I take $92,000, $92,160, and you definitely use thousands when you're talking about this, not 92,160. Okay? $92,160 times 30% means that you would save $27,648 off your utilities. Okay? So if I take this now and just say up here, I had some pompous that tells me he's never going to maintenance his windows, so I put a big fat zero up there. So if I got a zero for my maintenance savings, say the cost of this project, let's say is $43,123. Okay? So the cost on my coupon price, not my today discount, my coupon price, so I roll my initial investment, John and Mary, with everything we got to do to correct the issues and challenge on the house, not to mention help fight that $92,000 project you're dealing with through here. Because again, if you do nothing at all, you see you're going to be paying a fortune over the next 180 months to keep the windows you have. You see basically with everything we got to do to take care of the problems and challenge on the house, not to mention we found on the inspection how we find basically 55,433 is a good value for the project. Yes, yes. Now we're not asking you to pay because you didn't call a promotional discount. It's going to save you approximately 20% off, which is going to take the total amount of the project down after discounts to $43,123. Okay. Can you see, basically how most of our customers will either, more of our savvy customers open account at 12 months, no interest, no payments, or they'll open account at 60 months at basically $643 a month. Let me ask you, how does $643 in the month fit in the budget? Well, it does, it doesn't, blah, 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 blah. We go through it. So that price right there, that's what we're using here, not the today discount. Okay. So if I got $43,123, and it tells you right here on the bottom that in San Diego, the average customer returns, and it's higher in Orange County probably, that basically average customer returns in between 83 to 87% cost recouped on their money. So John and Mary, if we kept that conservative and we just did 70%, would you agree that would be a conservative number? Yes. So if I got 70% resale value, so if I got 43,123 times 70%, that's $30,186.10. So again, that's 30,000. I'm just going to say 186 to keep it easy. And then my energy savings was $27,648. So now what I simply want to do is I want to add these categories together. So I have 30,186 plus 27,648 equals 57,834. Now that would be my return on investment that I'm putting back in my pocket, but obviously I have to pay for the project. Because if I don't pay for the project, then it's not a real return on investment because I'm trying to show all the net gain without showing what I paid for the project, right? So if I take that, subtract 43,123, that means I just put $14,711 back in my pocket. Okay. So again, the true return on investment after paying for the project with resale value and energy savings alone is $14,711. And we know that number is conservative because again, we put zero maintenance savings in there. So you're probably going to gain a lot more than what we even expected there. Not to mention we went super conservative on the resale value also. So let me ask you, can you see how this project's going to pay for itself, John and Mary? Like, yeah, but that's over 180 months. Well, let's show you. If we divide that basically 14,711, and I divide that by 180, that means that's putting about $81.72 back in your pocket monthly. So again, rather than basically outlashing that entire investment out to basically SDG&E every month, we're trying to offset, if not keep your utility bills close to the same, if not lower than what it is right now. So that way, again, we're fighting SDG&E together, not basically allowing you to keep paying out more money. Because remember, no matter what, you're paying a $20,000 increase from SDG&E, that hike is doing it. Unless you do something to combat it, you're paying for with nothing in return. Let me ask you, can you see how doing a project like this is going to pay for itself? Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So it sounds like to me, the only reason we wouldn't be moving forward is because the money is at it, nothing else. So if we could basically, again, help you with that cost savings program and then basically sweeten the pot and basically lower your investments a little bit more, is that the only thing that would keep us from moving forward today? Yes, yes. Cool. Is that it and nothing else? Yes. Boom. Now you can now you basically put your cost savings program into effect. Okay. This form works. It doesn't matter if you're doing 5 years, 15 years, 10 years, whatever it might be. You might have to change a 15 to a 10 or a 5 or whatever. The form works. Even if the formula doesn't completely pay for itself, it lessens the amount of money they're actually paying. So you can show them basically how much money it's actually costing them out of their pocket after utility savings and resale value together. So you can show them how mathematically it's stupid not to do the project because they're paying for it anyways. Every day, remember, a 16th inch gap around a normal 3x5 foot window is the equivalent of a brick missing out of the house. You got that out earlier because air infiltration and the dust on their seals are sitting there. Then basically you ask them how long it would take them to fix the hole in the wall. They tell you immediately, and you don't get right to it. Then they're admitting they're throwing their money away. You told me earlier you'd fix it immediately. What happened? Right? There's nothing you can do to go down and turn your heating or air conditioning down or up enough to make a difference to the outdoors. We have to get good at perfecting the basics. This is a tool, and it's got SDG&E. You have basically your cost versus value. You've got your resale value down here. You even put the Dream Style, basically #1 remodeler on the bottom of it. We have basically tons of tools, but you got to use the tools or they don't work. So again, make sure that we are putting these things into play. And this is simply as easy as grabbing the sheet and playing around with the numbers 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 times on your own to where you're comfortable doing the house. If you don't practice, you're never going to get good. If you don't practice, you're never going to get good. And there's no damn excuse not to practice. Leads cost $500 to $1,000 a piece. Your practice needs to be at home, office, so when you get in the house, you look like a master of your trade. If this 60% of what you do in this life is what we're doing right now and you're going to the house delegate, if you're not smooth and on point, then you look like an idiot. And if you look like an idiot, you're working for the wrong company. There's companies called Window World, which is basically order takers. That's what companies like that are designed to have idiots. Nobody works here as an idiot. You guys are super smart. But again, sometimes we get our head wrapped around shit we can't control rather than things we can control. So you got to basically master your trade. How well are you price impressioning? How great's your inspection? How many questions are you asking in the process? Do you have verbal vomit? Are you basically selling the payment? Are you setting yourself up for success from the beginning? Are you listening to the bullshit excuses they give you in the front? Remember, new information equals new decision. There is 0 things that are going to not come up in the beginning because people fear. They fear buying. They fear change. They fear basically replacing their windows. A lot of the people have never done it before and they don't know what to expect. So of course they're going to try to tell you they're going to get estimates because they're going to treat you like commodity until you earn the difference not to be treated like a commodity. We live in an information disadvantage with the internet through there. So if you're not talking about Duracast, you're not talking about the uniqueness, you're not talking about the installation methods, you're not selling them on the reasons why they need to do what they need to do inside that house, and you're buying their damn excuses because they're better at sales than you, and they've already brainwashed you into why they're not buying. Shame on you. You're not doing everything you need to be doing in the house. And if you tell me you are, you're a liar. Because we can always get better, including myself. And if we don't make sure we're doing the little things that add up to the big things inside the house, then we're in trouble. Commitments, right? You miss a commitment. That's like shooting yourself in the foot. You miss basically, you don't price impression. They're going to fall over dead at the end and not expect the price. That's right. They will fall over dead at the end and not expect the price. And at the end, you got no one's butt to kick but your own because you should have set them up in the beginning. Price impression has been a vital key part of selling a premium product for a very long time. If you don't give them some kind of a knowledge, coming in today, John and Mary, is going to be like buying a car, depending on the options, colors, choices you do. That's pretty much what you can expect to do. And how many windows you have in here depends on if you're buying a Malibu or Range Rover. Okay? So get it around it. Price is irrelevant. Next thing, that inspection. If you're not doing an inside and outside inspection and taking them with you, not you walking around the outside of the house by yourself for no reason, or walking around the inside of their house for no reason, you got to get them involved. What in the inspection is taking them from 6 months to a year from now to today? What information did you share with them that's going to make a new decision? What questions did you ask to pull the paint out? Are they owning the commitments? Or are they just checking the box so you'll shut the hell up? Think about all that stuff. It all matters. To be in our industry, in closing 30 to 40% is considered pretty successful. I don't think 30s is that successful, but 40s is pretty good. You're closing in the 40s in our industry, you're doing pretty good. Okay? But again, you're still failing 60% of the time. So if you're not figuring out where you're failing that 60% of the time and continue trying to get better and not saying I'm as good as I'm going to be, and it's not my fault, it's the leads, or this is this problem, or I should have done this, or I'm rusty, that's your fault. No one's going to help you with that but you. No one can want it more than you. That's why tools like this, which I used to just do on a raw piece of paper, but I decided to create this because I figured if I didn't create it, no one would ever use it. You can also create an Excel spreadsheet with this thing, or basically number spreadsheet. You can do the same thing with it, and it makes it even faster. I like handwriting it out because it makes it feel more real. At the end of it, basically getting your commitment to value, fighting for the investment. Remember, they've been putting these projects off for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and have done nothing about it. And you are the reason they called out to get this project done. They didn't call you out to waste your time or their time. They didn't do that. They called you out to get a project taken care of because if not now, sometime in the future, they really want to get it done. And how convincing are you, or were you, with the problems going on in their house and the things you found during the inspection and the things they shared with you about slice of life on why they don't like what they currently have or doing inside the house? Why are you the difference? Why are you their why? Why did basically a higher power bring you into their life to come inside the house and help them through a problem they've been dealing with in their house for a long period of time? Remember, people have situational awareness. You get a stain on the carpet, suddenly you walk by that stain so many times you forget it's there. Your heating air conditioning goes on and off so many times you suddenly stop hearing it because you're so used to hearing it. Basically, the dust on your seals become normal. The cracks in the stucco become normal. The basically rot on the inside of the drywall becomes normal. The fogged up paint in the bathroom or in the living room or in the kids' bedroom become normal. The window not operating because if there was a fire, somebody had burned to death, becomes normal. It's your job to pull them back out of situational awareness. If not, again, I could put myself on a video and give a presentation, probably doing better than what most of us do in the house, and basically have them push play and then come back out and write an estimate after it's done. Why are you validated? Why are you the best? You're the best. Why are you the best? What makes you the best? What makes you irreplaceable? What makes you basically the person you are inside that house? What makes you the best solution for them and their problems inside their home? Where's your confidence? Confidence creates confidence. Are you working out? What are you listening to on the way to your appointments? What are you putting in between your ears? Rush Limbaugh and some stupid bullshit like that that's negative, that takes you the wrong way? Are you looking at bullshit, the sky's falling, Chicken Little shit? Are you putting some stuff in your ears that are helping, sharpening the tool and making you better on the way to your appointments? What are you doing? Right? 5,000 hours in a car a year is what a basic individual such as yourself does, driving from appointment to appointment. Same as a master's degree from any accredited university. What are you putting between your ears that's making you better? What are you learning? What tools and tricks are you basically working on? How many hours a week are you spending making yourself better? If you don't make the time, nobody will for you. And I want to talk to you, and I wanted to hit you in the gut. I want to hit you in the heart. Because if I'm pulling your heartstrings, you need to be doing the same thing to your customers. If you're not pulling on their heartstrings and letting them know you care about them, and that you care what happens to them and their family and their house, remember, windows and doors affect people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If they're working, you don't pay attention to them. If they're not, they become a hassle and a headache. What's the number one reason that they picked up the phone and called, or let a stranger talk them into letting us inside their house to get an estimate? If you're thinking they're going to do it just because they're bored, you got something else coming. You have to make sure you get sharp. You're sharp as nails. You're asking the question. Seek first to understand before being understood. Be proactive. Synergize. Work together to come up with a solution. Put first things first. Be proactive. Get ahead of your objections, right? That's what basically your commitments do. We have to make sure we're being as good as we're going to be. Set your damn goals. Follow your goals. What is it? If I don't do good today on the appointments I have, what's my backup plan? How many of you have visited your damn installs? Taken your pictures, right? Fight. Ask for a freaking ride along. Ask to come in here and train one-on-one. There's 4 fucking people on this fucking phone call. Okay? You don't think you don't give a shit? I don't give a shit. So the thing I'm telling you is if you're here trying and busting your butt, I got your back 100%. If you're not trying, you are replaceable. Repeat my words. If you're not trying, you are replaceable. And I will be looking to replace you if you're not trying. Because I will not deal with underperformance if we're not trying. If you're trying, I will work with you to the moon. But if not, I don't care. Go work for the competition because you suck anyways. So the one thing I want to share with you, this stuff here makes the difference. The price impression sheet makes a difference. Your commitments make a difference. You are the best. This 6 inches between here will dictate the difference between it. Positive attitudes, what you're running into, loving your customers, all that stuff matters. Control the things you can control, leave the other off the table. With that, if anybody's got any questions, I'm willing to listen. But again, we have to do better with what we're given. Never should we go 1 for 13 as we did yesterday. That was absolutely embarrassing. So anybody have any questions? I'm done ranting. I apologize for the rant, but I got to get that off because I can't believe what I see sometimes. So anyways, got questions, let me know. If not, we'll go ahead and end the call and let you guys get your day started. But again, remember, an amateur practice get it right, a professional practice can't get it wrong. And the reason I get upset is because if I don't feel like you care, it frustrates me. If I don't feel like you're putting 100% in, it frustrates me. Because again, this is the major leagues. And if you don't treat it that way, your paycheck will dictate it. Anybody got any questions? All right. Have a good day, guys.